All right, so today we are diving into a really fascinating idea. What if the world you see every day isn't the only one? What if it's not even the default reality? Let's get into it.
So let's just start with a huge question, right off the bat. What if the solid ground beneath your feet, the world all around you, isn't nearly as fixed as it seems? What if, on some fundamental level, your reality is something you are actively choosing, every single moment, maybe without even knowing it?
Okay, so for this explainer, we're going to be digging into a pretty unique text. The source material is described as being channeled, which means it was supposedly received from a non-physical consciousness. Now, it makes this incredibly bold claim that our world is basically built on three things: our focus, our beliefs, and the agreements we make. And just so we're clear, we're just going to neutrally walk through its ideas, slide by slide, and explore what it has to say.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at how your focus literally creates reality. Then we'll get into the agreement that kind of holds everything together. We're going to use reincarnation as a really cool case study, then explore the idea that we can live in multiple realities at once, and we'll wrap it all up with the ultimate power of your own choice.
All right, first up, this is the big one, the foundational principle of this whole thing. The idea that your consciousness isn't just along for the ride in reality. It's the actual engine. It's the conscious energy that's shaping the world you perceive.
So first things first, what do we even mean by reality in this context? Well, according to this text, it's not some single objective place we all share. It's much simpler. Reality is just whatever a consciousness is experiencing. And what decides that experience? Easy. It's wherever that consciousness is putting its energy and focus. That's it.
So how does a reality get made, according to this source? Well, it breaks it down into these four pretty simple steps. It all starts with an idea, right? A philosophy, a concept, something that catches your attention, attracts your consciousness. Then you start to focus your energy on it. That focus is what forms an agreement. And boom, once that agreement is made, the idea becomes an actual experience, a reality that is now totally real for you.
Now let's dig into that idea of agreement, because it's basically the glue that holds all of this together. It's presented as this sort of unseen contract that builds not just our personal little worlds, but our huge collective ones too. Okay, this right here, this is a game changer. This quote is so powerful because of the sheer authority it gives you, the individual. The source is crystal clear. If you pull your agreement from a reality, then for you, it just stops existing. I mean, that is a radical statement about having sovereignty over your own experience.
So, what is an agreement? It's not some formal contract you sign. It's way simpler. It's just you accepting a philosophy or an idea. You know, when you decide that something, like the laws of physics or a certain religious belief or even a political system, makes sense and you buy into it, you are directing your conscious energy toward it. And by doing that, you've entered into an agreement that makes it a real, tangible part of your world.
Okay, this is where things get really, really interesting. Let's take these big, abstract ideas and apply them to something we're all familiar with, like the concept of reincarnation. This is a perfect case study for how this stuff works in practice.
And this is the exact question that gets asked in the source material. You know, is reincarnation a fundamental, unavoidable truth of how the universe works?
And the answer is just a beautiful paradox. The text says, yes, reincarnation is a fact, but it's a fact because people believe in it. It's their collective belief, their focus, their agreement that makes it a real experiential thing. It exists, for sure, but not as some ultimate law you're stuck with. It's described as a play, a cosmic drama that souls can choose to take part in or not.
And this slide just illustrates the principle so perfectly. Look at these two massive ideas. The reincarnation cycle, it becomes real for anyone who directs their energy and belief toward that philosophy. But on the other hand, the text says that someone who really dislikes the idea of a heaven and hell doctrine can just withdraw their support, pull their focus away, and for them, that reality basically vanishes. It's the exact same mechanic for both. Focus makes it real for you, and a lack of focus makes it unreal.
So, if realities are built on where we put our focus, what happens when our focus is split? That leads us right into the next mind-bending concept, the idea that we aren't just stuck in one single reality.
According to this text, our consciousness is actually overlapping with several realities all the time. We're constantly sort of fluctuating between them, and it all depends on what's dominating our awareness in any given moment. The reality that you're putting the most energy into, the one you're most focused on, that's the one you're primarily experiencing.
Now, to make this idea a little more solid, the source gives its own case study. The interviewer asks about the channel herself, a person known as Marie, who is said to be from another plane of existence but is now here in a physical body. And so the question is put to the source directly, is she, right now, living in two realities? And the answer couldn't be simpler or more direct. It's just yes. Within this framework, it's not only possible, it's happening.
But here's the really crucial distinction. The source draws a very sharp line between two different ways of being in a reality. You can be there by choice, where you're consciously using your awareness to direct yourself where you want to go. Or you can be there by influence, and this is where your awareness gets trapped in a reality and you don't even know how or why you got there. The key difference in all of this, it's awareness.
All of this leads us to the final and maybe the most empowering piece of this whole puzzle. It's this ultimate emphasis on choice, and it completely throws out the typical spiritual ladders and hierarchies that we hear about so often.
And the text is super clear about this. The whole idea of higher planes or lower planes is just plain incorrect. There is no better or worse reality. There's no more or less evolved place to be. There is simply the reality you choose to put your focus on and experience. It's all a matter of preference, not rank. Okay, so let's wrap this all up. What are the big takeaways from this worldview? Number one, your focus is a creative power. It literally builds the world you see. 2, your agreements with ideas are what make them real for you. 3, it's absolutely crucial to know if you're living by choice or if you're kind of trapped by influence. And finally, and most importantly, you have the power to change your reality, simply by consciously pulling your focus from one thing and putting it on another. And that leaves us with one last question to really think about. If this philosophy is true, if you have the power of agreement and focus, if you could consciously withdraw your energy from any single part of your life right now and by doing so make it not exist for you, what would you choose? Thanks for watching.